Hi class. Well, since recording the first video about how to use the email headers to avoid scams, I've gotten a couple of other really good examples, and I want to show you those examples real fast. But the first example comes from this YouTube administration. It seems too good to be true. I'm on top of YouTube. That's fantastic. I didn't know ITE 130 videos could be so popular. If I show the original of this email, I will, wait, first of all I need to resize this because I need the address part in there. Okay. So the first thing that jumped out at me was we've got this return path going through not YouTube, that's for sure. The next thing that I scan for when I look at these originals is I look for this, the is permitted sender, or the is neither permitted nor denied. It continues to hold true that if somebody is spoofing you and you're not talking to who you think you're talking to, you're going to see this is neither permitted nor denied, because it can't determine whether the person you're replying to is in fact the same person as who sent the message. So you'll see is permitted sender if you're talking to a legitimate person. Right, so then you scroll down and something, this is the body of the email here, and one thing that we will recognize by the time you're through with this class is you will be able to determine that that's a hyperlink, and it's not going to YouTube, that's for sure. So those are some ways that we can tell right away that this email is not legitimate at all. And yeah, so that's the first example. The next one that I want to show you is I got another email about one of my friends from one of my friends allegedly, who lives in Cambodia. I feel really bad for my Cambodian friends because I don't know what it is about them and getting their email addresses hacked. But anyway, this is my latest friend to have the email account hacked, and everything, aside from the fact that I recognized this as from before. She needs 2,450. She's stuck in a hotel, right? We're stuck in an embassy. All right. So when I show the original on this one, the first thing, right, I looked at is the return path. It looks like it's actually going to my friend's email account. Right? That's pretty funny. Okay, so then I looked at these IP addresses, and if I open up a new tab and let you see the address. If we go to a place called whatismyipaddress.com, and be very careful how you spell that, because typo squatters are waiting to get you at every single one of the misspellings of this domain. So anyway, when you paste in, so I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. So let's see, we would expect that this is coming from the UK, right? Because this person said, help, I'm trapped in the UK. That doesn't look like the UK. That looks like California to me. Well, actually, if you look up all of these IP addresses, I mean, just pull an IP address out of this email and paste it in there to look it up, they all come from California. They all come from Sunnyvale, California, which is about as far from England as you could ever be. So there's another major indicator that this is not, in fact, my friend. Then when I noticed that what happened is they registered an email address that's not her address. It's slightly different. Her actual address is girlseesworld@yahoo.com, and with the S, the second S there. And so the backstory behind this, she received a mysterious email. She logged in. She was phished. That's bottom line. I mean, she typed in her password and her credentials into an account that she shouldn't have. The people that were there scooped it up, They went into her Yahoo account, they exported her contacts from her Yahoo account, and then went and established a new Yahoo account that was almost identical in the spelling of her original one, to spoof people and also to make people believe they were actually talking to her. They set it up with her name, and then they imported her contacts and proceeded to just send out all of the contacts, all of the email to those contacts. Pretty scary stuff. Unfortunately, it does happen. And after this whole incident, and I was looking into how to set up two-factor authentication, I now have two-factor authentication on my Gmail. I don't know that the VCCS student email supports the two-factor authentication yet, but if you have Gmail for your personal accounts, you can definitely set that up, and it texts you a code. And so you have to do your password, and then it texts you a code. And so I have to type in the code that I get texted right as I'm logging into my email. So it's pretty sweet, actually. I like that. So it's a lot more secure because you have to have something that you know and something that you have. But we'll talk more about authentication later in some of the other chapters. I wanted to talk to you though about some of these examples of email, and again how we can use the headers to beat the fraud